My name is Rhea Gaudi. I am going into 12th grade right now, and I attend Doral Academy.
Awesome. Thank you. What happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
So because I take AP Calc and I've been taking like higher level maths, I kind of realized that my fundamental math, like my lower math skills in like geometry and algebra were kind of lacking. And I forgot all of those things since I took like geometry in 8th grade. I didn't really remember all of those fundamentals. And that's pretty much what you need for the SAT. So even self-studying, I wasn't really getting the score that I wanted to, even though it was like a relatively good score. It wasn't the score I was aiming for. And so I kind of felt like self-studying wasn't really the way for me. So I really just wanted to get external help.
You were too advanced, basically. The SAT, you're right, only covers up to basically algebra 2.
Yeah.
And so it had been like 2 years that you hadn't seen or more
Yeah, I
algebra
took
2.
algebra 2 in 9th grade.
Yes, that's a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, damn. So you needed a very large refresher, basically. Okay, cool. And wait, and how'd you end up finding us?
So I had a couple of friends who already took the course with you, and when I asked them like do they recommend it and what's their honest opinion, like they had nothing but good things to say. They were just very like they had spoken very highly about the program, and seeing how their scores improved, I just knew that it was going to help me if I put in the effort.
Nice. And what was your expectation of the virtual group learning environment?
So I've always been a pretty independent person, and going into like a group environment, I had honestly expected it to not work out because I didn't think that like I would be able to make my voice heard and be able to like get all my concerns reached, because there was like, oh, there's going to be a group and there's going to be other people that the tutor has to attend to. So I didn't think that it was going to really work out for me, to be honest, but it ended up very differently.
I'm glad. How would you describe our service for another student? Like, what should they know?
If I had a friend that asked me about the program, if I recommend to do it, I would definitely say that it's worth it if you put in the effort, because it's a huge commitment. It's a big commitment that you have to make to yourself. And if you truly tell yourself that you want to reach that score and you have that goal that you want to reach, I think this program is amazing to help it.
I'm glad you said that. It is not easy, right?
Yeah,
That was work. We had a
I know. And I struggled. I was one of the ones that the reason that I joined the program was because I struggled with like self-discipline, because I was in between like doing all my other, like I was taking 4 AP classes at the time, and I was struggling between like doing those AP classes and then during school studying for the SAT. It was just one of those things where I couldn't discipline myself to study. So having those messages every day, and like, you know, the group chat and the things that you guys do for that just really, really helped me.
every day, really.
Every day.
That's what it felt like, right? Like, where's the homework?
It was every day.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes you just need that. You're too tired. You don't like
Right.
you run out of willpower
Right.
with 4 AP classes.
It
So
just like it holds you accountable, like, and
yeah,
it's
no,
okay.
so that's literally that's part of it. It's not. It's like what you said, right? You needed a refresher, but you, with everything else going on, like you also needed the accountability.
Right, because to me, like my priorities were focused on getting good scores in my AP classes and getting good grades, because like that's what mattered to me. And I was like, oh, I can study for the SAT like in summer.
Right.
But obviously I was able to like get a good math score while I was still in school. So that was really amazing.
Nice. I'm glad. So, I mean, what result did we ultimately help you get, like in starting score, final score, and improvement?
When I first started, the score that I had was a 680 in the math section, and then finishing the course, I ended with a 780.
100 points for everyone who
100-point improvement.
and what has that result meant for you or enabled you to do?
So for me, I was already qualifying for 100% bright futures with my previous score, but I really, with this score, am able to be so much more confident as I'm going into my senior year now with applying to some of those higher level colleges. And I feel like a lot of those colleges that were a reach for me before are now my targets, and some of them are my safeties now because of my score. So I think it really, really helped me just with my overall confidence academically.
That's awesome. What advice would you give other students currently on their SAT prep journey?
So I would definitely say to hold this course with a lot of priority, because you need to put in the effort, especially if you have a high goal that you want to achieve. You need to put in the effort with practicing. And it might seem annoying and redundant of doing the same thing over and over again, but that's what really helped me improve, because I already knew all of these skills. Like, I've been taught it before, but I forgot them. And just being reminded of them and practicing them over and over again is what helped me achieve my score that I did.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
I guess what else should we know?
I think for me, because I had like all these concerns going into it about the group setting, because I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to voice all my concerns. And if I have any questions, I'm not going to be able to give all these questions to my instructor. Because I had such a small group with Mars, it was like only a couple of us. Like from time to time, we had like 3 or 4 people in our group. That really helped me, because she was constantly calling on me, and I felt so engaged in the class because of how much she was calling on me. And she was having these like short little conversations about like, oh, her life in UF, and it just felt like a real person was teaching me, and it wasn't just like a tutor or like a recorded thing. It was someone that I was actually there, and it felt like she really cared about, you know, us learning, and she made sure that we understood everything before she went on. So just having that like smaller group versus like a ton of people, I felt like I was really a part of it.
Now that's some good feedback. And to make sure all the tutors and small talk is good, huh?
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, cool. And that was good. I mean, thank you so much.